a Purdue team that is just sensational. More on that in just a little bit, and you'll get a whole lot more with Jason Munz. He will be our last guest today. James Franklin is the first of the fired coaches to find a new home. He is going to Virginia Tech. There is some mitigation here. I think he's really given Penn State a break. I think he's just going to whack away with $9 million, but a pretty good payday at Virginia Tech. We will talk with Ron Higgins about that. And also, guess who was in Baton Rouge yesterday? That would be Lane Kiffin. I've heard rumors that LSU is willing to offer $16 million a year for Lane Kiffin. We'll chat with Ron Higgins midway through the show. And then, is Memphis going to play in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl? There are 3 different outfits that are saying they are. We will talk with Steve Earhart about that, about the SEC possibilities, and a whole lot more. And we got the news. He is out for at least 2 weeks. So let's just talk about that for 1 second. I talked to a doctor yesterday who is an orthopedist guy, and asked him what a grade 1 right calf strain, grade 1, would mean. And he said, good news, it's really not a very serious injury. They announced that Ja would be out or reevaluated in 2 weeks. My hunch is 2 weeks from now, he will be full out ready to go. It's interesting about Ja and his durability. You realize, Landon, that he missed 33 games last year, okay? But he had 33 games missed over 15 different absences, which means he gets hurt a whole lot. That is really tough. And what makes it even tougher is that the Grizz have no point guard. Ty Jerome, Scottie Pippen Jr., Javon Small, all injured. Like, it's nuts. So now you're talking about Cam Spencer, a shooting guard, Vince Williams, a wing player. They are going to be your point guard. Going to take on San Antonio tonight in San Antonio on the Riverwalk. They are 5.5-point underdogs in that game. Part of the reason why it's not bigger is Victor Wembanyama is also hurt. There's so many injuries in the NBA this year. And it makes me wonder, Landon, do you think it just could be pace of play, that they have to play so hard on both sides of the floor, unlike other eras, that these injuries are occurring? Is it the floor? Is it lack of rest? I don't understand what it is, but the Grizzlies aren't the only ones. Look at all the superstars that are out for the year with injuries. Achilles seems to be the new thing, but look at this calf strain. When Wembanyama's got an issue like that, it's kind of weird. I don't get it. Do you?
I don't get it either, but it is a phenomenon, because I don't remember the last time, both in the NBA and in the NFL, that we've experienced so many injuries just professionally across all of these platforms. So I don't know what's in the air. I don't know what's in the drinking water, but there's a lot of people going down. We're dropping like flies.
Yeah. It is crazy. I do think this is a minor thing for Ja. Zach Edey's coming back, and what did they played 5 minutes together the whole year. And anyway, I don't think the Grizzlies' losing streak at 4 is going to end at least this week, because this is a good San Antonio team. Now, they're not nearly as good without Wembanyama, but there's other pieces. So we shall see. That game is tonight. Tiger football, they got a week to heal up. They will play Navy. I'll be honest with you, I like their chances against Navy. I know they lost to them last year. That was in Annapolis. They're a different team at home. I think this new defense, which faltered at the wrong time against East Carolina, had a pretty good training session earlier in the year when they took on a similar offense in Rice. Obviously, those guys at Rice don't run it, or don't have quite the efficient athletes that have been running it forever at Navy. but good training, and they beat the heck out of Rice. I don't think Navy is going to beat Memphis. I think that Ryan Silverfield's going to get his 9th win, which means he gets an automatic rollover for one more year. And then what bowl will they play in? Well, there's a couple of there's two guys at ESPN and one other agency that says they're going to take on Iowa State in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl or Cincinnati in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. CBS and The Athletic are both saying the Tigers are going to go to Birmingham. They'll take on Duke there. I wouldn't mind that. The First Responder Bowl, which is at SMU in Dallas, with Sports Illustrated saying they will take on Cal in that game. I don't know if it matters if Memphis wins against Navy or not for all those things to occur. We're going to talk with Steve Earhart coming up in just a couple of minutes about what the Liberty Bowl's plans are. But those seem to be the options for the Tigers. I find it interesting. Nobody is saying the Military Bowl, which is in Annapolis, that doesn't seem to be on the table. Birmingham, the First Responder Bowl and the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, apparently, for most of all these prognosticators, are where Memphis will play their postseason. So we're here in Paradise, and this place is absolutely gorgeous. There's all kinds of celebrities here, too. Mark Wahlberg is having today, probably about to tee off just 5 minutes from here, on the Royal Blue Bahamar course. They are having a celebrity, it's the Mark Wahlberg Family Foundation celebrity event. So last night when we landed, I never saw this, Drake has his own airplane. It is bigger than the airplane that we came on, across all the water and everything else to get here. Just a 2-hour flight, by the way. This plane was bigger. This plane is bigger, I think, than the Grizzlies. They use this Delta plane that's for NBA teams that is humongous. This Drake plane was bigger than that. And according to Ed Scott, Drake worked out a deal where he gets used to this plane just to put his name on it for marketing. It was like a cargo plane, retrofit. Pretty interesting. Anyway, and in the hall last night, I passed by. Brooks Koepka is playing in this event. He can play in this, but he can't play in the PGA events because he's still a liver, which brings me to Henrik Stenson, who has been relegated out of LIV because he just hasn't played well enough. He's 49 years old. He is going to pay his way to play on the DP World Tour, which is the PGA Tour in Europe. I'm totally against all this. You left. You got big money. You paid the price. It's too bad you couldn't play well enough. And for a while, he was a co-captain, part owner of a team. Those guys were not to be affected by relegation, but apparently they decided that's not the case. So he's going to pay £1 million or euros. I think it's pounds, £1 million to buy his way back to the DP World Tour. For me, I'm a little hardline here. I don't know about you, Landon, but I wouldn't allow him back in. He went for the money. He knew what he was doing. He gave up a Ryder Cup captaincy. Would you allow him back in even if he pays £1 million?
Absolutely not. I would not.
We are in agreement on that. I like that.
I didn't even have to think about it.
A whole lot. Huh?
I didn't even have to think about it. I wouldn't have let him in. He left. That's on him.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Okay, the big cheese, the head honcho of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, is going to join us now. We got some pressing issues for sure. Sure, as I have moved the Family Leisure Studios out, just for this, out of our Flynn Broadcasting Center at Ridgeway in Mount Moriah, all the way to Paradise here at Bahamar in the Bahamas. But wherever we put this studio, let me just say to you, that wonderful sale is still going on. They're moving out a lot of things and bringing new stuff in. You can still get patio furniture 50% off. If it's in the place, if it's a floor model, if it's in stock, you get 50% off. If you need special financing, Family Leisure's got you covered. If you would like one of these incredible hot tubs, they start at under $2,500 and mention you heard this ad, they will give you a free gift. And usually those free gifts are really cool, like that patio furniture. If you bought some patio furniture before, you got a free umbrella. Those are well over $100, $125. They're great. You're getting a free gift. I don't know what it is, but I promise you it'll be great. Just mention us when you go to I-40 and Whidden Road, a little bit north. Turn to your right. There you will see The Family Leisure. You'll love the way it's laid out. Ask for Billy. Ask for Lindsay. They'll take care of you with this great sale at Family Leisure. So here he is. Big dilemma on his mind, I am sure. ESPN, Steve Earhart is saying the Tigers are going to play Iowa State. There's another one that says Memphis is in your bowl game playing Cincinnati. I don't know about the SEC teams. Are there enough to go around? What are you thinking about, Big Cheese Head Honcho?
I'm thinking about you down there laying on the beach in the Bahamas. What are you down
not a
there?
bad sight, let me tell you.
Well, good. No, we just had our annual fall board of directors meeting of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Festival Association. A great meeting this morning. Got a lot of great people here in Memphis making things happen, and so we discussed who would be in the Sears AutoZone Liberty Bowl on January 2nd, Friday afternoon, and it's basically it's unbelievable the different options. Now, when we talked yesterday, Dave, you may have already talked about it, but I talked to Jamie Hickson, the deputy commissioner that handles football for the American, and he told me, and I didn't realize, he said there's 6 teams still be in the championship game, and then if you win the championship game, you're in. I didn't realize Memphis had a mathematical chance. I know it's a long shot, but they've got Navy.
I don't even know what
North
that could
Texas.
be.
That's what they
What
told
now?
us. Officially, they have a mathematical chance of being in, depending on who loses and who wins, which surprised me. I had kind of thought that they did not have a
I'm
chance,
shocked
but he
at
said
that.
they do have. But he told me he went through this is the deputy commissioner yesterday afternoon late, and so he said they theoretically, and now again it's a long shot, not very high percentage, but would take a couple of those teams ahead of them losing. But if they could get in the championship game, then they win the championship, then they have that opportunity to go to the playoffs. So anyway, there's 6 games that are on.
Let me just say this, just to clear this up, and I'm sure you're right because that guy said that, but Tulane has the tiebreak on us, so we can't beat Tulane. And they've got at Temple and at Charlotte, and against Charlotte. Tulane is going to be in the championship game. North Texas, Memphis doesn't play, so I have no idea what a tiebreaker would do with them. They're at Rice and home against Temple. They look pretty darn good. East Carolina, which has the tiebreak on Memphis, is at UTSA. Now, that's tough. They could lose there. And FAU. So I'm saying to you, I really believe Tulane and North Texas is going to end up being the championship game. I don't see how Memphis gets in. So let me ask you point blank. If you were to get, because let's say hypothetically the champion goes to a playoff, would you take the loser of that game? Because I don't over Memphis, say, because I don't think Memphis is getting to the championship game. I think they're going to beat Navy too, by the way, but I don't think they can get in.
Yeah, well, I just want to be clear. I was exactly like you are, and everything you said is accurate because you're supposing that the favorites like Tulane are going to win those games. I'm just telling you what the official position of the American is, that mathematically all 6 of those teams have a shot. Now, that would take Tulane losing a couple of games and all those things that would happen. So if you're a prognosticator like you are, you're 100% right. But, when we look at all 3 conferences because the SEC, they're as jumbled as anybody. Jan Gwynn, one of our board members, Mississippi State guy, he told a story about when he was playing at Mississippi State, and they were really underdogs. They upset Ole Miss the last game. So he's still saying, well, Mississippi State has got a chance. And the Kentucky people called us yesterday and say, they only have to win 1 game out of their next 2, Vanderbilt and Louisville, and then their potential in. And then LSU, there's been talk about whether they would be a candidate. So the SEC is unsettled, and a lot depends on the politics in that CFP room on Saturday night and Sunday morning. do the politics be that the ACC could get 2 teams in? Does the Big 12, could they get both BYU and Texas Tech in, depending on who wins, lose? And remember last year, the SEC was convinced that Alabama was going to get in, and they ended up being ranked 13th and not getting in. What SMU got in, kind of, and I can't remember who, but the ACC got 2. So we have to wait on them. And then on the Big 12, we got a number of teams that, are all kind of bunched together there. And you mentioned one of them. You got Cincinnati, you got Houston, you got TCU, you got K-State, you got Iowa State, and both Baylor and Kansas are trying to get their 6th win. So I can't answer that. I wish I could. I wish there was more definitive deal, but we're trying to look at all 3 conferences and see what's the very best matchup to bring people to Memphis, have great television ratings.
Let me just play prober here, okay? I have no idea how this is going to come out. I know you're going to ask me for a prediction. I've got kind of one, but let's just say how many teams. Let's just say it's 4 teams. I think the SEC might get 5 in. Okay, what have they got now with LSU in? They
have 10 teams eligible as of today. 10 teams eligible.
10. And I think for you to get a team, they got to get at least 11 or 12. So here's what you got.
12.
If it's 12.
Yeah.
What?
It would be 12. If they get 5 in, then we would need to have
12.
The Citrus Bowl, and then the 6 of us that are in the pool. So we would need 12 teams if they get 5 up. And if they get 4 up, then we need 11 teams.
11.
So that's how
and they
that
got
breaks
10
down,
right now. So if you look at Kentucky, 5-5, they got 2 games left. At Vanderbilt, at Louisville. I don't know. I'd say they're underdogs in both games. Then you've got Mississippi State. You mentioned 5-6. Well, they're playing Ole Miss. Ole Miss is playing to go to the playoffs. And I kind of think they're already in, and that's a crazy game. But I don't see them getting to 12. I think it's hard for them to get to 11. So that means you're going to end up with an American team. And that's good, but who would it be? Would you prefer the loser of the championship game or Memphis? Just off the cuff, what would you do?
I don't think you should limit it to that. And again, I'm not trying to be coy or anything, but there's so many combinations there, and depending on how it ends up, and you're right, the Memphis Navy games are going to be critical. You've got East Carolina, who beat Memphis head-to-head, and if East Carolina wins out, they're 9-3, and their 2 losses are to 2 pretty good teams, in North Carolina State and BYU. So they have a pretty good argument, and East Carolina hasn't been here for 15 years, and they've always brought great crowds to Memphis. And then Navy was here, 5-6 years ago when they played Kansas State in that barn burner of a game, and always trying to help out the service academies. So it comes down to, that last week of the season as to who in the, in the American would be that. And North Texas, they're right now in the driver's seat, as you said, to get in the championship game, and they've never been to a big bowl in years. Would they be the team that would bring the most folks to Memphis, be excited about being here, and never been to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl? So I don't want to, I guess I'm pretty concerned about where James Madison is going to come out, David. So when you keep saying about the loser of the game, you're pretty supposing that the Americans going to get their champion in. If James Madison, as you noticed yesterday, in both the AP polls and the coaches poll, James Madison was ranked ahead of any American.
But let's see if that's what the College Football Playoff Committee says, because I will tell you, all the prognosticators have Tulane in the game now. So that they're assuming Tulane is going to get in the championship game and beat North Texas or East Carolina or Navy, if that were to be the case. By the way, Navy's got to play Memphis, at Memphis, and then play Army. I don't see them getting there either. So here's my prognostication for you. And then you can go over all the ones.
Mark it down. We'll mark the Dave Evolution
So
space.
I'm going to say your North Texas pick. Okay? Your North Texas pick against TCU. So we have a Metroplex Dallas-Fort Worth area showdown. Denton versus Fort Worth. I hope that's of interest. I know North Texas would probably love that. I don't know how TCU would feel about it.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting pick. But Dave, you're usually right more times than you're wrong, and this prognostication business is pretty difficult. And I hope you're not putting too much money into. No, I know you're not betting on these kind of things, but it is interesting.
No,
people all over the country
right.
looking at prognosticating and who's going to be in which bowl, and that's of great interest to fan bases. So for the next really until the morning of December 8th. December 7th, whatever that Sunday morning is, when that committee is locked up overnight there when the championship game's playing. Now, the American game, and I think you've talked about it on your show, Dave, is on Friday night at the highest-ranked American team, whereas the Big 12 is on Saturday in Dallas, and the SEC is in Saturday afternoon in Atlanta. So the American, we don't know where that championship game will be, and how are they going to get the tiebreaker, and if North Texas did not play Tulane, isn't that right? So, yeah, and I don't know. You may have to dig into this while you're down there on the beach.
Honestly,
who's
North Texas got the great end of the deal. Of all the teams at the top, the one-loss teams that were 6 of them, including North Texas 2 weeks ago, they only played 2 teams that were in that grouping. Memphis played 4. So, North Texas has had the advantage, like Army did a year ago, of the easiest schedule in the league. But they've got the win. So, and I don't know how it would come, since they didn't play Tulane, if they're the 2 teams, how that will get determined. I'm basically taking a shot in the dark when I'm saying TCU against North Texas. I'm hoping for you it's an SEC team. I hope 11 or 12 get up in there.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a great game, no matter who it is. And we've had great games with American in the game. Remember, we've had Navy, we've had Memphis, and we've had Army in the game. So, and those teams whoever it is going to be happy and excited to be here bringing folks to Memphis. And we talked about it at our board meeting this morning. We're all about having events for Memphis. Next week on your show, we'll be opening the envelope on all the members of our AutoZone Libertyville High School All-Star Game. Today we announced who's going to be our not distinguished, and that was Fern Lundquist. This is our Outstanding Achievement Award in the field of entertainment and music, and we announced that Matt Stell, the country music artist who had a couple of #1 hits 4 or 5 years ago, and his foundation has already been helping St. Jude Children's Research. You may not, I know you're not a huge country guy, Dave, but you probably heard his songs that were #1, Prayed for You, and Everywhere But You,
I
and
heard
Breaking in
them
Boots.
when you played it at the press conference. I heard them. But again, I'm not a country music guy. I got to ask you this last question before we go. We're running out of time.
Okay, all right.
You just mentioned all these teams, and you sort of glossed over the Memphis Tigers participation. And I would get that. They've already been in your game a couple of times. They've played Iowa State both times. I know the hotels and the restaurants, for them, that's a loss, even though you got pretty good crowds for both those games. Are you basically saying here this is not Memphis's year?
No, we're not ruling anything in, and I'm not trying to be coy. It's just that, there's a lot to happen on the field if and you made a good point. I would say this one thing. I don't think it would be good to have Memphis play Iowa State again. That'd be the 3rd time. And, Iowa State having to come play Memphis in their home stadium, I know that's not a good recipe. So, but either one of those 2 teams could be in the game but playing a different opponent. And so your prognostication of, maybe a North Texas and a TCU, a lot depends, too, on who we'd be getting out of the Big 12. So, I don't want to rule anything in or out. The Navy-Memphis game is still very important for all the fans listening. I mean, that's an important game for both universities, both programs, to finish on a win in that game. And then, of course, Navy. Now, when we took Navy several years ago, 5-6 years ago, we took them before they played. I mean, we kind of were crossing our fingers that they wouldn't stumble, but they did win the Army-Navy game, and then they beat Kansas State on that last-minute play. So, we're not not ruling anybody in or out, and we just finished our board meeting and left it very wide open, and everybody will have a different opinion, and we'll have to be in consultation with our partners and our board people, and you hit it on the head. There's good pluses and minuses about all of those programs. So I wish I could be more definitive, but I think there's just a lot of good possibilities for January 2nd, 67th Annual AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
You know what? This, going into the last week or two of college football, this may be the murkiest, the toughest to prognosticate that we've had. I don't think you're going to be able any way that it goes. So we shall see. That is for sure. Thank you, Steve.
Have a great time down there, and we're looking forward. Thanks to everybody that's been so helpful here with the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, getting ready for the All-Star Game and all our events. So thanks to the community. Appreciate you.
Thank you. That's the Big Cheese, the head honcho of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. When we come back in just a minute, we'll head to Baton Rouge, our SEC historian Ron Higgins, on what's going on. Was Lane Kiffin in town yesterday? I'm pretty sure he was. We'll find out for sure in a moment, right here on Willow and Friends.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Listen up, Rebel fans. Your next winning drive starts at Landers Ford in Collierville. Their game plan is simple. Find you the most savings possible. Make a trade, lower your payments, or let them buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from them. That's how you keep moving the chains. Just like the Grove on game day. Fans all across the Mid-South keep coming back to the #1 Ford dealership in Greater Memphis. See them today in Collierville or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. When you own a Landers Ford, you get the support of a certified service tech with the Landers Ford Remote Service Experience Program. They pick it up, drop it off, or fix it on the spot, so you're never left watching from the sidelines. To finish the drive, the iconic Landers Easy Pass always brings more for your trade and the biggest discounts to put you in victory formation. And now, straight from the 1977 Ole Miss football team that took down #1 ranked Notre Dame, the final snap of the day from Landers Ford President Don Kitchens.
If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much. As reported on Ford's 2024 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report, Memphis Market.
Hi, friends. It's Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers. The seasons have changed, and fall is my favorite time of the year. Fall means that Christmas is right around the corner, and we all start preparing for that most wonderful time of the year. All families have their own traditions, and they bring so much joy. And a part of that joy comes in giving gifts to those we love. For over 5 decades, Russell Brothers Jewelers has been the source of many of the most beautiful gifts ladies in Memphis have ever seen. Gifts that are cherished and frequently handed down from one generation to the next. Gentlemen, as you think about a gift for your special lady this Christmas or any time, I hope you will think about Russell Brothers Jewelers. Beauty, value, quality, and service are our hallmarks at Russell Brothers. This Christmas, come see us at Russell Brothers. We will help make you the best St. Nick ever. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used? They've got it. With fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters. 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family. Driven to keep you on the road.
It's the Kia Season of New Traditions sales event on now at Gossett Kia on the Pike. 2025 Kia K4 LXS. We Gossett $145 a month, $39.95 due at signing. How about 2025 Kia Sorento LX? We Gossett $172 a month, $49.95 due at signing. And 2026 Kia K5 LXS. We Gossett $192 a month, $39.95 due at signing, all 24-month lease. Plus, they're all equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You just ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today. Hurry to Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars. $100,000 per year, 25 cents excess mileage, 650 acquisition fee, K4 SE 182 921 MSRP 24,850. Sorrento SG 405 858 MSRP 34,275. K5 TS 421 572 MSRP 29,540. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 must finance through KFA. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2025.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show. Right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
To the wonderful world of technology, we go from paradise here in Bahamar, in the Bahamas, all the way down to Baton Rouge. Our SEC historian, Ron Higgins, joins us now. Apparently, because all these guys who scout around and do some spying, they checked out flight numbers on tails and all this stuff. And they say Lane Kiffin was in Baton Rouge yesterday. Ron, is that true? And is the offer of $16 million a year to Lane Kiffin really on the table? Good morning.
Good morning. I don't think he was here yesterday. His family was here. LSU sent a plane to get his family, and his family came in apparently to check out Baton Rouge. I don't think he was here. The $16 million offer, that sounds enormous, but I don't know where LSU would get that money from. I mean, unless they go to their sugar daddy, Todd Graves, who owns Payne's Chicken Fingers, who's worth $22 billion.
Well, if he's got $22 billion, the $80 million, if it's a 5-year contract, that's a drop in the bucket.
Maybe LSU feels like they want to do that because it's a 5-year deal, not a 10-year deal. Maybe they feel like they could do that. I would, I'm willing to think that LSU would do anything what it takes to get the best coach, and they think he's the best coach out there. The $16 million, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I heard 50. I heard Ole Miss was willing to go $15 million, and it all depends where Lane. I find it interesting that almost put an ultimatum on Lane. They want to know what's going to happen before the Egg Bowl next week. They got to make a decision.
Now, I also heard that he's been given an ultimatum he's got to tell them something. You think that's true? Is Ole Miss playing hardball like that?
If they are, I think I can understand why they would, but I think it's a mistake. I don't think you back a guy in a corner like that. I think LSU was willing to wait for the season to end for Kiffin. I think they were willing to wait however long they go in the playoffs. They were willing to wait for him. That may have been an attraction for him. Whatever it takes. Understand. We'll wait for you. If you tell us you'll come, we'll wait for you. If you agree.
Well, here's what kind of threw me a bit. I really thought Lane was going to stay. The way he's talked about that 30 for 30, he found peace. He's there. His wife's there. Everything is copacetic. His kid's the quarterback at the Oxford High School. I really thought he was staying. Then he said, somebody asked him, and it was a good way to actually approach the subject, because it's really, he's asking, are you thinking about leaving? The guy asked, what makes a good job? And he goes, well, it used to be facilities and your budget for assistant coaches. Now it's more like NIL. How much money have you got NIL? Because the coaches' contracts are going to be pretty good anyway. So NIL. And then he said, but also you gotta say to yourself, has that program won a national championship? Has that program produced a Heisman Trophy? Well, LSU's done both, and so is Florida. So that said to me, this could be bad for Ole Miss. Now, two thoughts about if it's 15 million in 5 years, that's 75. If it's 16 at LSU, that's 80. How can you turn down that kind of money? Your kids are set for life. And the other thing is that always comes into my mind is a college football coach that worth that kind of money? Now, I know Nick Saban is a unicorn. What he did for Alabama, for their admissions, for the incomes, the revenues that came in because of football success was pretty phenomenal. But I don't know if any other guy could be worth that kind of money.
I always look at it this way. I look at how important is a football program to a university and to a city's economy. And when your team is going well, people want to come see your games. They want to come from out of town. They pump more money into your economy. That means more people have jobs on weekends. It even trickles down to, concession workers. It trickles down to people who transport fans on bicycles from their parking lots. Everything. There's an economic effect of a really good football program that's kind of nobody really ever talks about. And so if you invest in a
hard
coach
to quantify.
If you invest in a coach who wins and does that and makes your program like that, it's better for your city's economy. It just is. I mean, it's especially if you've got a huge city, it helps. I understand what he said about Heisman Trophy winners and national championships. You want to feel like you're going to go someplace where you can win a national championship. Ole Miss has gotten closer to that under NIL, but I don't know if they'll ever close the deal just because, and I know you go in the portal a lot now, but Mississippi doesn't have good high school, doesn't have enough high school football that's good enough as far as qualified ACC
I don't know
athletes.
if that matters anymore.
It does matter. You still want to get great high school guys, and there's no two places better in the South, two of the best places in Florida and Louisiana. Louisiana's high school recruiting is the reason Nick Saban came to LSU. And I think,
but the game has changed since then.
I know the game has changed. I get that, and I know the NIL money changed. But still, you want to go somewhere. Well, I agree with him. You feel like, hey, they've won national championships, so they showed it can be done. They've won Heisman trophies, they showed it can be done. And you can't sit there and wonder what will ever happen here while we fall short. What do I need to get here that I can't get somewhere else? And I think that's what he's looking at ultimately. I mean, he may stay. He may stay. He may have a change of heart. So but I think I agree with you, Bolo. When you throw that kind of money at him, that's life-changing money. I mean, he might not think so, but yeah, 5 years of that, that can change make it secure for life easily.
Well, how much different is $75 to $80 million? He could have a statue of himself in Oxford if he stays and continues to do this.
But again, ultimately, every coach deep down wants to win a national championship. And maybe he thinks he can't win one in Oxford. Maybe he thinks he can't get it done because they haven't, they haven't.
Give me your gut feel then. Give me your gut feel. Is he coming to LSU?
I think he's seriously considering leaving. I don't know which way he's going to go, but otherwise he would have answered that by now. And I don't think he's not being coy anymore. I think he's really battled this thing back and forth now. I think he thought he could just say to himself, it's been great here. This really changed me. But then there's a competitive part of him that says, damn, I'd love to win a national championship. I don't know if I can do it here. I mean, these people have been great to me, and I've got good NIL money. I don't know if I can see that. Maybe that's why he's debating within himself. And so I think that's why he sent his family and kids. That's why he sent his family and kids to Baton Rouge. I don't know if they went to Gainesville or not, but I think we go see this place and see how you like it. And do you think, do you think we could live there and the atmosphere? I mean. Look, when LSU hired Saban, he sent his wife here to look at everything. And she reported back to him. And so maybe this is kind of a spin-off of that. Kiffin respects Dick a lot, despite the fact that they were like salt and pepper a lot of times. But I think I mean, I don't know if Nick's had any influence on him looking at LSU or not. Nick still really likes LSU. Of course, Nick also said in the beginning that he should he should stay at Ole Miss. But if you're going to leave somewhere, if you're going to leave, I'm sure it said if you're going to leave somewhere, this is why LSU is a good job. And I'm going to explain all the ways because I experienced it. Maybe he said that, but I don't know if he's trying to talk him into it or not. But I know there could be an influence there. But again, I'm different than I was last week. I didn't think he was moving last week, and then when he failed to really after the game to really address it, and he kind of, like you said, kind of left it open. You should leave it open this long. Not this long. You're almost at the end of the season. You should leave it open. You should be able to close that door if you're positive. And he hasn't closed it, so he's not positive. And so I think he's doing his due diligence, looking at other places. That's what I think he's doing.
If he's not the guy, who would be the right one?
That's a hell of a question. That's $1 million question. There's so many people out there. I mean, if I had to go with the second guy, I like the Eli Drinkwitz from Missouri. I just like him. I think he's been a good coach at a place where it's not easy to win. Maybe they're looking at that. I'm sure they got a backup plan, but I really think they're all in on Kiffin. They are all in on him, and we'll see. Well, I guess we'll know by next Friday when supposedly.
Well, maybe Kiffin said, "Look, you guys go down there. I'm going to let you make the decision," because he's really made the point about how important family is to him. Yeah. He's even got his ex-wife. I don't know if they're back together, but she's in Oxford. So maybe he said, "Look, here's our options. You go, you tell me, I'll let you guys make the decision." In particular, his son, who's the starting quarterback in Oxford, I think he's only a sophomore. That would disrupt his life. I think his daughter is I think she's going to be a senior after this year, so she's a junior.
And she dates LSU's linebacker.
I think her boyfriend is at LSU, right?
Yeah, she dates LSU's linebacker. He might come back to school next year just for that. So there's a lot of factors here, I mean, could the kid leave? He could leave Oxford and play in a good football program in Baton Rouge. Yeah, there's plenty of great programs in Louisiana, Baton Rouge. But
all right, last thing, real quick. Franklin he's the first of the fired coaches to get a job. He's going to go to Virginia Tech. I think it's a great hire for Virginia Tech. I think he turns around that program, restores them back, especially in the ACC, to national respectability. Your thoughts?
I think it's a perfect job for him. It's not. It's not the pressure you have like at Penn State in the Big Ten. I think the ACC has a little less pressure, and it's a program that all the elements are there to have a great program. It's a great fan base. They have a great tradition under Frank Beamer, and it hadn't been the same since. I think he's a personal guy who probably can win in the ACC. So. I think was a great choice for Virginia Tech and a really good choice for Franklin. I think that's a good fit.
Yeah, we're in agreement. And that's how we'll end our discussion today. We'll talk next Tuesday, before Thanksgiving. We appreciate you as always, my friend. Thank you much.
Try not to burn with that tan, okay, playing golf. All right?
I got sunscreen. Trust me, my wife was on me on that one for sure.
All right.
Thank you. That is our man, our historian, Ron Higgins, brought to you by Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. Ken knows you're really going to commit to something, whether it's a dream home, a renovation with innovation. You are putting up the money, and he's going to make sure that job is done the right way. All you got to do is go to kengarland.com. You'll see what I'm talking about. And no, 3 generations, 70 years of building beautiful palaces all around the Mid-South. That's what they've done. Williams in the business now, 3rd generation. They all see little details, big picture. You got to have that to be a great builder or a great remodeler, and that's what they do. So if you want to stay in your home, but you want the modern amenities, or you're looking for land to build that dream home, there's only one place to go. Everybody will tell you. It's Ken Garland Custom Home Builders. We're back in a minute. Munzie on the Tigers. He's on his way to paradise. We'll talk about the Tigers in Purdue and what the heck happened at FedEx Forum the other night against UNLV. Munzie is next.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
If you're thinking of selling your home, think of me, Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf, because I've got the tools. No, I can't fix anything around the house. Heck, I never even finished my shoe shine kit in high school shop. And if you play golf with me, you'll see why I'm known as the worst golfer in town. And they call me Mr. Three-Putt or Sheldon the Shank. But I have all the tools to get your home sold. I have a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in what you make and when. And I'm part of a nationwide relocation network that provides many more transferred buyers coming into our market. Always interview 2 to 3 brokers. Make sure you include me, the bald, bad golfer who people say when you want the job done, call Sheldon. Reach me at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. That's right, my website says it all. MemphisRelocate.com, or anytime call me at 483-0546.
The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event is rocking at Gossett Hyundai 1956 Covington Pike. Right now, 2025 Hyundai Elantra is only $273 a month. How about 2026 Hyundai Venue Week Gossett, $289 a month. And 2026 Ioniq 9 SEL 88 combined MPGE with electric range of 320 miles, $459.79 a month. Plus 0% for 60 months and no payments for 90 days available. And every Gossett Hyundai comes with America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty and the Hyundai Assurance. So hurry to the Gossett Hyundai Getaway Sales Event at Gossett Hyundai 1956 Covington Pike or online anytime at HyundaiGossett.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Venue TU 424-635, Elantra SUO 88418, Ioniq TY 000-839, MSRP 68840, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only. Must finance through HMA. Not all customers will qualify.
Hi, it's the Herd. Around the holidays, it's hard to find the right gifts, but you know what's even harder? Getting the right gift. Hey, it's not selfish at all. Everybody wants what they want. And guess what? Verizon's got the perfect solve for both. They have incredible bundles for you and your family. You can get the latest phone with a new line on Verizon's My Plan and a brand new smartwatch and tablet. No trade-in needed. You can get it even on their lowest price plan. That's 3 amazing gifts they are offering. You can give a couple away, gift yourself one, or give one away and gift yourself a couple of them. You can even give them all to yourself. No one has to know. You get to decide who gets what. You're basically Santa, and you don't even have to fly all over the world in one night. Just go to your local Verizon store, get yourself a bundle, a phone, a tablet, and a smartwatch. It's a holiday miracle that you don't want to miss out on.
Billions, billions. At NST Law, we're talking billions and billions.
Corey, call on line 3.
We're talking billions. At NST Law, we've won billions of dollars for our injured clients. And there's billions more out there, a whole galaxy of cases to win. NST's the way to go.
MSD is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
Corey.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
All we hear is Radio Gaga, Radio Goo,
We head to Mississippi. We're all over the place today. I'm in Baja Mar, soon to be joined by Jason Munz, but he's not there yet, and he joins us, the great commercial appeal beat writer for the Tiger basketball team. What the heck happened, in your mind, at FedEx Forum the other night against Josh Pastner and UNLV? The Tigers really played good, showed a lot of fight against Ole Miss. They fell apart against UNLV. Why?
I don't know. I genuinely do not know. All I know is Memphis jumped out to a 5-0 lead. And then around from the 18-minute mark to roughly the 12-minute mark. So for a six-minute span, like right there in the early part of the first half,
UNLV takes a 14-point lead. Okay, so what that means is outside of that stretch, for the last 32 minutes of the game, Memphis and UNLV tied 65-65. So, like, basically what I'm saying is, like, there was a 6-minute stretch where it was ugly, where it was, and don't get me wrong, like, there were a lot of other ugly parts, but they made up for it. Like, Memphis made up for it. They had a 12-0 run late in the game that cut it to an 8-point deficit with like 4 or 5 minutes to go, and so like they were truly not out of it. Like, there was a point in time where, I mean, honestly, Quante Berry hit 2 free throws with 4+ minutes to go to cut it to an 8-point deficit. I thought they were going to win. That was what stretched it to a 12-0 run to get them back in the game. And I thought, being at home, UNLV wasn't going to be able to sustain as well as they were playing for the rest of the game. I didn't think. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I mean, a lot of times in the past, we point, Penny Hardaway points to his team underestimating the other team. I mean, I don't know if that's part of it, possibly. I mean, UNLV had already lost to Montana and UT Martin. Is it also possible that Memphis was overlooking UNLV and already looking ahead to the Bahamas and looking ahead to Purdue? I guess that's also possible. Or is it just entirely possible that UNLV is one of the better scoring offenses in the country, and Memphis' defense just wasn't up to it? I think a lot of those things could be true. And then, of course, you've got some significant weaknesses on this team, personnel-wise, that need to be addressed.
Right. We'll get that into that in a second, but I do. If we go back to your scenario, you're talking about a 6-minute period of time, the run, that's the difference in the game. Are we, and the fans, and if you read message boards and things of that nature, overblowing what this loss really means? That this could be a little blip. Maybe they're going to play Purdue really close. Maybe they're going to win a game against Wake Forest or Texas Tech here. That this is way overreaction, this loss to a team that lost to Montana and a team that lost to UT Martin?
I think so. I think so. Oh, I'll say it that way. I think so. Because if we're talking about just the loss itself, I think so. But we can't just look at it as, well, it was a loss. It was a 14-point. It was a 14-point home loss to a UNLV team that hasn't been very good so far this year. That was down 3 starters, and also 2 of the players who did start in the game only combined to play 3 minutes in the second half because of foul trouble. So they were depleted. That was a depleted UNLV team that came in and handed Memphis its most lopsided home loss of the Penny Hardaway era. It's the most lopsided home loss since Tubby's last year, the next to last game next to last home game of that season against South Florida when they lost by 24. So it's been quite a while since there's been a game with that many points in between the winner and the loser when Memphis is on the losing side. But going back to your question, I do think that it's a little bit too soon to say, oh man, well, this is it's toast now. They're toast now. They've lost 2 back-to-back. They're not going to, it doesn't look, it's a super uphill battle in the Bahamas, and it's going to get even worse before it gets better. I mean, all that's entirely possible. But again, I think what the home loss UNLV does is it solidifies the fact that everybody, media, fans, everybody should, brace themselves for the very real possibility that this non-conference portion, this season, this non-conference season, is not going to look like last year's when they went 10-3, and it is not going to look like the year before when they ran through that non-conference and got up to number 10 in the country. This season, if anything, that loss made it more likely that this season is going to be about the conference and being about playing your best basketball, hopefully playing your best basketball in March and peaking at the right time.
Well, if they're to do that, they've got to get more out of two pieces I know they invested in with NIL money that on paper look excellent. Aaron Bradshaw, number 2 prospect overall when he came out of high school. Number of schools interested in him. He goes to Kentucky, then to Ohio State, and he's produced nothing. He looks lost out there. Zach Davis, South Carolina starter last 2 years, almost double digits in the SEC. How in the world is he looking like he's looking? I mean, if those two guys come together with the guard play that you got, especially since I think Julius Thetford has showed you a whole bunch, Quante Berry, as you mentioned, I think is a really guy, let alone Curtis Givens III and Doug McDaniel, who just had the worst game ever of a point guard in a Memphis uniform that I can remember in a long time. Maybe Javon Quinterly could be mentioned in that. But, you know, you bring in and the surprises of Simon Majak, you know, you can see some hope there. But those two guys, they got to come through.
Yeah, and I mean, I asked Penny directly by name. I asked him about Aaron and Zach, and you know, he just goes. He continues to fall back on the fact that he's not getting the fight out of them that he is looking for. The energy, the effort, the fight, the heart. Like he's just not. They're not giving that to him, and that honestly, like I don't know if you can't. If a player is not going to give that to you, I'm not sure there's anything as a coach you can do to make that happen. Like that's a really tough spot to be in. Now we could argue that, you know, those are the players that Penny wanted. Those are the players that Penny paid. That you know, like part of the blame here, if we are, you know, looking to blame anybody for what's going on with those two players specifically, you know, you got to shoulder some of that because you're the reason they're here. But I'm, you know, I'm not, again, we're just 3 games into the regular season. It has not looked good. That is for sure from either one of those guys.
Yeah.
But,
and then very quick. Yeah.
Well, I was just say, but it's a long season. So, you know, as Penny said after the UNLV game, the lights come on.
Let's hope it comes on against Purdue. I know you've made your prediction. You've got the Tiger team around losing by about 10. You know, they've got 3 great bigs. They got 2 great guards. Braden Smith may be the best point guard. Lawyer, their shooting guard is shooting I think it's 52% from 3. The team shoots 40% from 3. You got Oscar Clough. You've got this other guy that's Kaufman Ram. That's great. You got Jacobson, who's 7'2". Hey, how do the Tigers hang with this team?
That's a great question. I mean, I think what they have to do is just lean hard into what has been working so far. Like, I mean, I'm not saying now is necessarily the time to completely pull the plug on guys like Aaron Bradshaw and Zach Davis, but I think what you have to do is you have to lean into what is working right now, and that is, and you mentioned Doug struggled against UNLV, and he did. He was 1 of 10 from the field and had 6 turnovers. You know, but you know, you hope that that's not like a normal thing, but you lean into him, you lean into Sincere Parker, you lean into Julius Thetford, you lean into, you know, these guys who are helping you, and just hope it's good enough. Like that's, and you scheme it up. Like you try your best to scheme it up and produce something that they haven't seen before, maybe, and hope it's good enough. So I don't know.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, Penny's got
Lindsay, I await. I got a rum drink waiting for you when you get here. How's that?
All right. I look forward to it. Well, I'll see you Thursday.
Yeah. That's our guy. That's Munzie on the Tigers from the commercial appeal. That'll do it for us here in the Bahamas for today. Landon Schmidt's going to take you the rest of the week. I'll be off until next Tuesday. So enjoy, and I will talk with you then. Johnny Radio comes your way next. Have a great day, everybody.